Hey everybody, it's Allison, stlprostretch.com, and today we're going to go over the basic lower body stretches. There's an X quadrant and a T quadrant, and I have the videos on my YouTube stream, but they're old and you can't really hear me very well, so now I've got the microphone. And hopefully you'll find these useful. You can do the X quadrant on one day, do the T quadrant on the next day, and alternate days. It really only takes you about 10 minutes. And you should notice, if you do it for about a month, a huge difference in your performance and your muscle aches and pains. Yes. Let me know if you do try it for a month. I should do a challenge. We're going to start down. I'm going to lie down, and we're going to start with the lateral quad stretch. So take your left foot out to the side, cross your right ankle over, press the knee into the ankle. Ankle presses into the knee. We want the foot to be and the knee to be at about a 90-degree bend or less. Rotate the knee in as the ankle is pushing into the knee pushing into the ankle, and then rotate out. We're going to do about 6 to 8 reps of each one. Switch sides. Right foot out to the side, left foot crosses over. Ankle pushes into knee, knee pushes into ankle. Rotate in and open. And I did not mention on the other side, if you want to get a little bit more quad out of this stretch, bring your ankle, your heel toward the outside portion of your hip. That's for the flexible people. I like to do it both ways. Okay, next, medial hamstring. I did this in the last video, I believe. We are going to take the left knee out to the side, make the OK sign with your hand, place the OK sign over the heel, use a strap if that's out of your reach. Kick the heel down toward the groin. The arm is going to move the opposite direction to slow the movement down. That's your strength. So kicking down, trying to activate this inner hamstring that we talked about with the hamstring video, and then keep kicking down toward the groin and open up. We want the knee to stay exactly where it is. Don't move the knee away from you. Just keep it where it is. Work within your range of motion. We want to try to think about using this inner hamstring. So take your hand, put it on the back of your inner thigh, and you should feel something moving a little bit, contracting. If you can't, then just try to mentally focus on that muscle and not use any other muscle. The great thing about this stretch is you're also getting a rear shoulder stretch, a little bit of trap. May not feel like it, but you're going to start getting tired. I always do. And yeah, it's something that's a little bit. It's actually quite a therapeutic exercise for the traps and the rear delt. It's really nice. We're doing the other side. Again, OK sign, heel kicking down toward the groin, arms moving the opposite direction to slow the movement down. We are trying to activate this inner hamstring. This is really important, as I've explained in some of my other videos, because this hamstring can battle it out with the outer hamstring. So if you've got a really tight IT band hamstring, the biceps femoris, that's the only hamstring that attaches over here. The other two hamstrings attach on the tibia on the inside of the knee. So if you have a kneecap tracking problem or a patellar dysfunction, like chondromalacia, a number of kneecap tracking issues, pulling that kneecap back to the center groove by using these muscles a little bit more, it can really help a lot. Sometimes you get that knee clicking. if you start getting the hamstring to stop migrating to the outside of your knee by using these hamstrings more, it can help a lot. All right. Next, we're going to do the groin. As you can see, I'm really flexible here. So that means I need to work these puppies even more, because I do have a tight outer hamstring. If you've got tight outer hamstring, this is the balancing muscle or the antagonist muscle. So I'm pulling my knees towards each other, pushing open with the arms to slow the movement down. And we keep pulling my knees together, open, letting my arms win, knees win. This one's great because you can do both sides at the same time, which I love. So since I'm so open on the groin muscles, I know I need to work this muscle more. I need to strengthen this muscle while I'm stretching it. For those of you who are up here, just work within your range of motion, and don't overstretch it. Don't try to get your knees down. Just go as far as you can while you're still contracting. We want to make sure you're still contracting. And if anything hurts that we're doing here today, stop doing it. That's a given for all of my videos. Okay, for the next one, we're going to do the standing lateral hamstring. This is my favorite one to do the standing version because I just feel like I get a little bit more warmed up. So I'm going to use my chair for balance. I'm standing on my right leg. That's the leg I'm stretching, by the way. And my left leg is going to kick behind me. I'm going to keep my toe down, not out to the side. Keep my body from my head to my foot in as much of a straight line as I can. As my torso goes down, my leg goes up. I am going to reach down with my left hand until I feel a stretch and come back up again. Yeah, we want to keep the hips level. Try not to open the hips to the side. We're almost moving in that opposite direction of doing that. So you could even turn it farther away. Turn your chest. And then we'll switch over to the other side. Balancing on my left leg, right leg back behind me. My chest is coming down, my leg is going up at the same time. We call this tipping bird, so like a bird with the tail. As the chest goes down, the tail goes up. I'm going to reach down for the floor with my right hand and come back up again. My toe is not out to the side, it's down. I almost have to think about pigeon toeing my back leg because I have a natural turnout. And we want to keep the hips level. As usual, work within your range of motion. You'll start getting a little bit more flexibility in here as you go. Touching the floor is not the goal. We want to just move until you feel a stretch. All right. That's the X quadrant. That's done. So now we need to work on the T quadrant. So that's what we'll do next. And actually, I'm going to start with the glutes. So I'm going to hang on to something. I love to do this glute stretch standing just because I feel like I'm getting more muscle activation out of it. Like it's more of a strength move. But you can do the lying down version. We've done that before in the glute video. So I'm standing on my right leg and across my left ankle over, press the ankle into the thigh. The thigh is just holding you up. It's not doing really anything. So we're pressing that ankle into the thigh. Stick your butt out as much as you can. Come down until you feel a stretch, and then come back up again. You can also use this as a balance exercise. But I'd rather you focus on getting the stretch and the strength than the balance. Great if you can do both at the same time. And switch sides. Cross it over. Ankle presses into thigh. Stick your butt out as much as you can. The ankle's pressing into the thigh the entire time. Wonderful. Okay, next we're going to do the adductors, the inner thighs. So we did the abductors. Now we're going to do adductors. You can do these laying down. I'm going to demonstrate both of them because I prefer to do the standing or the harder version. But there's many ways that you can do this. It's awkward for me to show it on video because I have to turn away from you. I'm going to lie down my back. Lift my feet, my knees, open my legs, take my hands, press them out in the inner thigh, keep the pressure going, bring my heels towards each other. Keep the hands pressing, the heels pressing together, and the hands are going to win now as you open up. The hands are always pressing out, the heels are always pressing together, but we're just letting the arms win and then the legs win. So as you can see, I'm turning my toes out here and in here. You can do anything you want. I just feel like I get a better adductor longus stretch, gracilis stretch when I turn them in. The other way is, I'm going to get my socks. This might be a little much for some of you. If you don't have hardwood floors, you can get yourself some Frisbees. I don't know where you're going to find Frisbees nowadays, or some paper plates. Sometimes that works. Or ideally, if you have gliders, you can buy the gliders from a lot of places. I know Power Systems has them. They're those discs, although I think they're overpriced for what they are. Those work great. The furniture gliders work great. So you can use a chair for this. I am not going to use a chair. I'm actually going to just use my hands. Actually, I've got my blocks here, so I'll use these. But it's a little bit easier if you want to get yourself up a little bit and use a chair. So here I am. I'm going to start sliding my legs open, and then I'm going to pull them back in again. So sliding open and back in. We don't want to go so far that you can't pull back out of it. And obviously, I'm using my core to pull myself back in again. Sadly, this is another muscle that I neglect. I am pretty open here, but my hips are usually tighter than my inner thighs. So those are two balancing muscles, or agonist, antagonist. And then we'll move on to the last two lower body stretches, the hip flexor stretch and the central hamstring stretch. I'm just doing my preferred method. You'll see many other methods that I'm going to use in other videos. But you should be quite familiar with the hip flexor stretch if you've been watching my videos. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Imagine the back knee pulling in toward your chest or pulling forward. Pull the inner thighs together, belly in, shift forward and back. And then we're going to do the central hamstring stretch. So pull your heel in toward you, pull it toward you as you shift forward. Keep pulling it toward you as you shift back. And then switch legs. We'll do hip flexor and then central hamstring on the other side. Imagine your right knee pulling in toward your chest or pulling forward, which is if once you do that, you're going to feel your front heel pulling back towards you. Great. That's what you want. Belly in, do the opposite of sticking your butt out, shift forward and back. And then grab your blocks, pull the heel in toward you to shift forward. Keep pulling it in toward you to shift back. Central hamstring. I always pull my toes back toward your shin. You do not have to. I just feel like the action of pulling the heel toward me is much easier with my toes pulled back than with my toes pointed, but you can do it either way. Also, as I've said before, I get a beautiful calf stretch along this whole fascia line when I pull my toes back. Okay, that's it. That was the T quadrant. So we're going to do one more stretch. We're going to do the downward dog stretch. And that's a double stretch too, calf and chest. Position yourself on all fours, tuck your toes under, lift your hips, push yourself back, start to lower your heels. If you want to do a little of this to start with, then that's fine. This is not about doing like a perfect downward dog. We are moving forward and back by lifting the heels, shift forward, shift back, slowly lower the heels. Lift the heels, shift forward, shift back, slowly lower the heels. If you want more out of this, well, think about picking your toes up as you shift back. Or pick your toes up, tilt your tailbone up, press your chest back toward your thigh, and bring your head through your arms. And that's it. So we had 9 stretches today. And those are the basic stretches. X quadrant, lateral hamstring, medial or lateral quad, medial hamstring, groin, and then abductors, I'm getting this all mixed up, hip flexor, central hamstring, and then calves and chest. Hope you feel good after this. And I challenge you, do the first part of it one day, and the next part of it the next day. I swear it'll take you 10 minutes a day, max. And by the end of the month, you'll probably have a whole different feeling body, hopefully. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm always looking for questions and comments. Like, subscribe, that would be great too. And I'll see you the next time we'll be doing some upper body. All right?